The Korean War back in the 50s, we haven't seen this type of ramping up of rhetoric or military moves in the region of the world, and that is the Korean Peninsula. Now, Russia has started to move troops to its border with North Korea. China is also doing the same. South Korea on high alert as North Korea prepares for yet another military celebration in the coming days. Now, even with higher levels of amassed military in the region and continual threats from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, U.S. Secretary of Defense General James Mattis called the threats empty and not proven to be honest. But here's what General Keith Alexander, who used to head the National Security Agency, said to me last Friday when I pushed him on the issue of a potential strike from North Korea. Do you believe Kim Jong-un when he says he'll do a preemptive strike?
Hard to say. You know, to be honest, I see both sides.
You're not saying I don't believe him.
I think
he could do it.
He could do it.
Okay, which side is right? Which opinion is correct? We bring in Fox News strategic analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. Colonel, you get to be the tiebreaker here. Will North Korea, could it possibly launch a preemptive strike?
Well, Liz, actually, both General Mattis and General Alexander are correct. They were saying different things. General Mattis was saying that the threats against our homeland, that Kim Jong-un is going to envelop the United States in a hellfire, that's not true. He can't do that. What General Alexander was talking about was a preemptive strike on our bases in South Korea, perhaps even Japan, and on South Korea itself. So the unpredictability of the North Koreans means that certainly Kim Jong-un could, not on a moment's notice, it requires some preparation, and we'd see the indicators, but he could move to do something very rash, but he can't yet hurt the United States of America.
The answer to this question might be completely different than perhaps the answer you might have given a week ago, but what keeps you up at night, Russia or North Korea?
I sleep well every single night. Liz, I don't engage in hyperbole. I think we're in good hands. I really trust General Mattis, and it appears, I mean, he's got a reputation as being the president's favorite among the cabinet members, and we hope that's so. General Mattis is very cool-headed. If he sees the indications building that there may be an imminent strike from North Korea on our bases in South Korea or in Japan or anything, he will do his best to hit first, hit preemptively, and hit very, very hard. But he would prefer, I'm sure, to give China one last chance to live up to their promises to help us with North Korea. Now, Liz, as for the Russians, they're not even in the game. They're just trying to show they're still players. As for the Chinese reports of their mobilization of some of their forces, well, if there is a war, they want to secure their own country. They want to be ready for all eventualities. Okay. There are three players, us, North Korea, South Korea.
We just had a French national, and now he lives in America, Richard Attias. He talked about how we've got to crush ISIS. Obviously, France has been an incredible target that has just ripped apart that country that's trying very hard to stay together before the elections. Let's not forget the Middle East. Secretary of Defense Mattis is in Israel, and he just met with Netanyahu this morning, and clearly the Middle East remains a very, very hot area of problems. So, you know, what next there? And Syria and the Israelis are concerned too. We can take down that. Yeah, there you go.
Well, what's really happening is that General Mattis, and by extension President Trump, they are rebuilding a strategy. And any accusations that, well, the new administration doesn't have a strategy yet, there is one that is clearly forming, and it's built around restoring ties with Egypt, renewing and refreshing ties with Israel, working against ISIS, calling out Iran. I see real coherence, and so although I'm perfectly willing to criticize President Trump when he deserves it, given that Obama never had a strategy in 8 years, the fact that it's not fully mature after 3 months is, I mean, it's just unfair to charge him. So. And as for your French guest, he's wrong about one thing. We do have to destroy ISIS, of course we do. That will not stop Islamist terror. Islamist terror, the Middle East is so civilizationally degenerate, so broken.
All the time, it really is.
Yeah, we're going to be in our graves before this boogeyman of Islamist terror goes away.
It's true. Hate to say it. Ralph Peters, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you, Liz.
Close